A very wonderful and loving hello to all of you here for a new love oracle, a love tarot. And today, let's take a look at what's going on. We're tapping into the energy of the present moment, the most prominent energy that wants to reveal itself here for the collective. If you find yourself pondering a crucial question, a thought that frequently surfaces, okay, my significant other, my counterpart in this relationship, has consistently and repeatedly compared me to various other individuals, specifically other women they have known or encountered, and perhaps even members of their own family, creating a sense of inadequacy and constant evaluation. And you ask yourself, will he stop doing that? Will he truly come to the profound realization that I am fundamentally and uniquely different? That he absolutely will not, under any circumstances, categorize or lump me together anymore with the various and diverse experiences he has previously had with other individuals? Will he finally realize that I am different? Will he be able to set boundaries to tell the difference, to notice it? And that's what we're looking into today. Once again, a very wonderful, loving hello to all of you. You are so wonderful, absolutely fantastic, every single one of you. Thank you for your warmth once again in the comment. Thank you for your kindness towards me. Thank you for being who you are. Dear ones, we are in the collective. The character cards are gender neutral, and please always adapt them for yourself from the perspective of the person in question. And also your situation. A collective reading cannot resonate with everyone. And I know you take exactly what fits you in your situation, what feels and sounds right to you, where you know exactly, okay, that's it. And if something doesn't fit and you think, hey, that doesn't match my situation at all, some event, because I also give examples. And if that's not for your situation, then just leave it out. That's completely okay. And now I would say, let's get started. Let's begin. What's going on with your counterpart? Will he notice it? Will he notice that you are different from everyone else he has experienced so far with other people? Let's go. So let's take a look. Yes, and if something comes up, of course, I'll also look at the time tendency, what wants to reveal itself in terms of timing. And let's check it out. What's going on there? Well, but that doesn't matter right now. Let's take all of them. So let's see what shows up here. All right, we have the clouds. Okay, we have the clouds. And with the clouds, it's also the case that you can already see this uncertainty in your special person. He himself is actually completely in uncertainty, opaque, impossible to see through. You may have noticed again and again that he is inscrutable or hard to figure out. And it's also the case that he keeps having difficulties within himself. His difficulties, I would say, these difficulties are already connected to the past. Those are his issues. And there has to be there's something in there. There's definitely something there. But, as I said, we have this inscrutability. And there's also a pessimism that keeps showing up strongly in him. And the tree, that always has to do with connection here. By the way, this energy, we've had it so many times already. So here, when it comes to your counterpart, your beloved, your desired partner, it's really about connection. There's a major issue right now that's coming up that's showing itself, and it's really about consolidation, about stability. It's about a relationship, and I'm not just talking about a relationship, friendship, or just knowing each other or whatever, but truly about a life partnership. But you can see a development, a healthy development. And maybe he or she has a lot of patience, and your patience is really being put to the test here as well. But there's something that keeps moving him because a lot of emotion is being shown here. A lot of emotion. And a lot of thoughts, feelings. That's what's currently going on with your loved one, what's happening inside them. This is a very powerful card. So what we really have here, what all of this is showing, is a major theme, his past. And it's really right there directly about the relationship. That's really what it's about. Because there's nothing in between where you could say, okay, yeah, maybe you could take a look at it at some point. No, this is a major issue. Because he's really thinking about it here. So he's in his thoughts. And those thoughts, consequently, are emotions that are being shown. So he's thinking about it, and a thought that comes up, maybe even without him wanting, it triggers an emotion in your counterpart. A very strong attraction is also being shown, an attraction to the bond, the connection. So something keeps pulling him back, making him focus on what concerns a relationship. A major issue, a really, really big issue. Yes, as I said, a lot of emotion, and it's very, very sensitive. But again, it's deeply mixed with his underlying fears. As for exactly what those particular fears are, and precisely what the attraction is truly all about, we will most definitely take a much closer, more in-depth look at that as well in due course. Let's see what else I want to show here. It has to do with you. It definitely has to do with you. You occupy your counterpart's thoughts. That's a fact. You are the trigger. You are the trigger in his thoughts. His thoughts, conclusions, emotions, and feelings are surfacing. That's it. And especially when it comes to a relationship, a bond. So something is really weighing on his mind here. And it's also about belonging, and also a bit about him being very cautious, especially towards you. So something is really on his mind here. We're in that area, but he notices that you're different. Maybe out there, someone has always said something else, tried to badmouth you, kept interfering. A troublemaker, so to speak. There's also something significant going on that truly has to do with a sense of betrayal within his immediate environment. Something sneaky. And it could also be that, yes, from the experiences he's had, that this was also the issue connected to you. That he really, because of that, because of this experience, maybe it was betrayal, manipulation. Betrayal can be sexual, betrayal in any area. It could be something material. It could also be being taken advantage of. And then that he assumed that he's extremely cautious with you as well. Maybe you want exactly the same thing, right? The superficiality, or maybe just the material things. But something is bothering him. The thoughts keep coming up again and again. Thoughts, emotions, feelings. And that has to do with you. So let's see what else we can find out. What is being shown here, what this is all about. Whether he really notices at some point that you are different, not like the others, maybe taking advantage, because somehow it always seems like he looked away. That's how it appears. That he didn't want to see what might really touch you or go deeper beyond this superficiality, right? But I'll put it this way. As it's shown here, it really could be, yes, maybe early dawn or the evening hours, Maybe also when things get quieter, something keeps coming up that triggers that feeling in him or her. Yes, it appears that a person who's very close to your heart, someone you hold dear, is now presenting themselves as extremely suspicious. The primary and most significant issue at hand, the core of this concern, revolves entirely around their past, specifically events and actions from their history. That indeed is what we have identified and are presenting here as the central and most important topic for discussion and consideration. Really, that's a central point for him, and that it keeps putting him under pressure again and again. And then these fears keep coming up again and again. He wants, wants. There's something there, and then whoosh, the fear comes. The fear is connected to his past. And the love is connected to you. Wow. So, I mean, this is really, it's already starting to get really interesting. What is being shown here? So let me tell you one thing for sure, with absolute certainty. You are consistently and profoundly on his mind, occupying a significant space within his thoughts. This is especially true, and indeed very often as the day transitions into the quiet hours of the evenings, when he finds himself settled and comfortable within the familiar and personal surroundings of his own home environment. It doesn't always have to be the evening, it could be early dawn, because there's always something again and again that comes up here. And we keep seeing feelings, emotions, connection. Your special someone is here. We have the public sphere. Public. Public also means being outside, other people. From his experience, what has happened again and again, we really, truly, genuinely have a case of sexual betrayal. Maybe you know about it, maybe you don't. Because in every single reading, we see what is going on inside your counterpart. In that person, in their inner world, what is holding them back, blocking them, what they don't want to say, what exactly is lying dormant there. And that's it. And that's what he maybe, as I said, he has mentioned it, or maybe he's suppressed it. I always have more or less a secret about it, like only telling half or even just a quarter of it. Because we definitely have betrayal here. Not just sexual, but that is being shown to me very clearly. This act of deception. And then we also have the material aspect. Here we are again with the topic that keeps coming up, which I'm seeing now as well, something that's been quite present lately that we've had a bit open, that everything somehow, It could be his environment, it could be his past, his childhood, that it was always about material things. Only if you can show this or that, if you have that, then you are somebody, then you get noticed. It's always just money, 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 money. So the superficial stuff, and I see him completely in that too. That's where he is. By the way, things aren't looking particularly good for him at the moment because that is also combined with his fears, especially when it comes to financial matters, because that really stresses him out. I've drained him. I've left him flat in this area. He shows something different on the outside. No, everything's fine. I'm doing well. No, it's all good. Everything's great. No, I don't have any problems. That's how I see him here. But deep down, he's completely eaten up inside, consumed. I see him confused, restless, insecure. He's even doubting himself. It's like a 24/7 struggle to get out of this because he's really fighting hard with himself, with his situation. And it's also about others. It's also about the experiences he's had. And that really hit him hard. Like, bam, it just slammed into him. Maybe he also, so here he must have lent someone money or something, lent something out. I'm not necessarily talking about something material here. Here I see it more as financial, like a sum of money, something like that. It's quite possible here that this was about a loan, maybe a loan taken out in his name, or that he acted as a guarantor, or that he took out a loan and gave it to someone else. Because here it's about having given something to someone else, among other things, but not really getting it back. That's what it is. And he's always so good-natured, so understanding, because he always wants to be seen in a good light, And that's the issue with him, that no matter how long ago it was, it could be recent. I have it as something quite recent, but it could also have happened a while ago. I just see it as recent because it keeps coming up again and again, and it's something that's on his mind. It could also be that this is the issue that keeps catching up with him, that he once lent someone money, whether male or female, I'd say from this area here, I'd lean more towards the female side, so more like a partnership or something like that. So, and in that case, he didn't really get it back. He kept being lied to. I can't. No, that's not possible at all, So he kept getting played like that. And again, because that's his self-confidence, Because right now, he doesn't really trust himself either. And that's the issue we have here. Because I see the financial loss very strongly. And those are his recurring fears. And his fears are based on the experiences he's had not just once, because it was always like that with money, material things and so on and so forth. And then on top of that, there was also cheating involved. So when it comes to sexual infidelity, it also looks like he actually saw or caught his partner with someone else, Because I can also sense that moment of shock in him, that, wow, And that's really the issue, because the person was actually seeing someone else at the same time. With some people, I also see that they just used him and then went back to their ex or chose someone else. So basically, they were two-timing him. Always, because I keep seeing this pattern with him. He was pushed aside, he wasn't seen, Um, and people also just looked right past him. And that's why he's completely insecure and sometimes chases after all sorts of things just to get attention, to be noticed. Because with him, I really notice that he clings to the past extremely, like he holds on to it really intensely. And also, yes, unfortunately, to what he has experienced as well. So his experiences, what he has gone through, what he has lived through. I mean, I don't want to completely shield him or cover for him here, because I mean, he is a bit of a rascal too, that's what I'm being shown here. Um, because I also get this sense of a bit of dishonesty, always trying to talk his way out of things a little. So yeah. But well, that's another topic. By the way, it's being shown here at the edge, which means I can't really interpret much more about what's being shown at the edge. And in that case, we would actually need to do the next reading on this topic. What's really going on there, right? If that's something you want to know. So, and that's his experience, all right? And now it's your turn. You're up now. There, it just went boom. I've always seen him as extremely cautious. Yes, whether you're still in contact or not, I've always seen him as cautious. Cautious, suspicious, extremely suspicious. And you may have also noticed that he kept reacting strangely, that maybe he couldn't make up his mind, ran away, withdrew, and maybe didn't really express his feelings in certain situations, or that he kept focusing on material things again and again. And you notice that you picked up on that. And of course, you had your own thoughts about it. You kept giving and giving because, by the way, I see a really big issue with him jealousy, right? You always gave everything you could here. Even when you just said hello to someone, right? And the person you were with was like, right? So if you're female and he's male and you just said hello to someone, because inside that was really boiling up in him. But he never really opened up to you completely about everything that happened in his past. Maybe just little crumbs here and there, things he mentioned, right? But with just 3 or 4 little crumbs, you can't form a complete picture. Because I see you in your thoughts here thinking, what's going on there? Did I maybe do something wrong? What actually happened here at all? And that's what he kept showing you over and over again. That there's something there. Maybe he also didn't say, when he reacted strangely, he didn't explain why he was acting that way. And you thought to yourself, but why? Hey, I'm here with you. I love you. That's what you said to your partner. That's what you felt. And for you, it's absolutely clear. You are my everything. I'm here for you. I want only you, no one else. But it's just your personality that you say hello sometimes. Because you're friendly and open, I have you here with me. But he, right? Or maybe even in communication, like if you were online once and he saw it, because that's what's always simmering inside him, what keeps occupying his mind. Because no matter what he shows you out there, he doesn't really trust himself. The self-confidence, no matter how it appears on the outside, I don't really have it like that. I always have cigarettes lying around here. Like I said, the past, what he's been through, we've already talked about that here. So, and then it's like this. What's occupying his mind now, all of a sudden, and like I mentioned earlier, it's always like that now, also in the domestic sphere, right? That he's thinking about you, that you would have reacted differently. There's always something, no matter if he's in contact with someone else, or in a relationship with someone else, or the connection. By the way, I also see it very strongly in the family sphere. And it's like this. The memory always comes up. No, you would have done it differently. You would have reacted completely differently. You would have responded more warmly, more understandingly, more empathetically, because that's exactly what he's truly and deeply longing for right now. That's what really and truly clicked for him. And he genuinely misses it because he profoundly misses you. He misses the entire connection you shared and the profound impact you had on his life. And you really are something very special to him. I also see the determination here. And I see the connection from his heart to you in your direction. You're actually showing up twice. So in any case, it's definitely about you. And here too, he really notices how relaxed you actually are. And now, regarding the question of whether he notices that you're different from the others, we have a very clear picture. Maybe you also react differently in public, or you have reacted differently. You always have this attitude of, oh, well, okay, if that doesn't work out, then we'll just do something else. It's really not a big deal, right? And that's also where he notices your inner values, this appreciation. And it keeps deepening more and more because I can see a complete change within him. Because something new is starting within him as well. Because he realizes, no, even when it comes to material things, he's becoming aware of it now. Right now, on his level of consciousness, he's fully aware because he's also disappointed that it's really just about the money here. Really, money bam. And with you, where you say, yeah, no, I don't even want that. That's fine. And of course, people need my money, right? But you react completely differently then. You also do something small, you do something beautiful. And with him, it's now really the case that he's noticing it too, because now he really feels it as well that from the other side, whether it's family or relationships, it's really just radically about material things here. And above all, that he's being used, that he's really being treated like a puppet. And you are not. And he couldn't do it the whole time. He kept saying it, he didn't notice it. He always just floated along on the surface where you thought you had given everything of yourself to show him that you really want him, that you mean it honestly, that it's real, your love, that it's genuine. And he truly couldn't and absolutely didn't want to see it. But now it's as if he fully realizes that one painful hurt after another is continuously coming. He really notices he's comparing now. There's a clear comparison for him that you would have decided differently, that you would have acted differently. And above all, he now truly sees your outer and inner beauty, your inner beauty, just the way you are. If maybe all this time there was something specific he didn't want, or he was always so dismissive, didn't want to say anything now, I see in his thoughts that he would like to tell you because he really needs that closeness. Of course, whether you still want him is another question, because he really has to make an effort now. And he will do that. I see him here completely softened, incredibly fragile. If you haven't had any contact yet and you get back in touch, you'll notice over time just how fragile, how soft, like modeling clay he's become, you know? That's really how it is now. He's become really gentle too, because I sense him much more on a heart level now. Because I can really feel the hurt in his heart. And he always put up some kind of protection around it, like a protective wall, a protective layer, whatever you want to call it. So what else do we have? Yes, and we're also in the middle of communicating. On the one hand, he or she is very much in communication with himself. So here we really see him. We see him thoughtful, and that he actually takes the time to reflect because, you know, some people don't really think things through, right? Men as well as women, it's not something you can generalize anymore. Men are like this, women are like that, right? Number. Because here I see him in a state of change, in complete transformation, where before he didn't really think about things. He just went along with it, did things just like that, you know, just the way he was always used to because he let others impose things on him. But now I see that he's changing, that he's finally starting to think things through. He doesn't just think, but he thinks about how you would have reacted and puts himself in your situation, yes. And these are little things, even within the family, for example. It could be any statement, any word, you know, or some action, some activity, and then boom, it just happens, it pops again for him. Internally, it's like this boff, as if a balloon bursts, you know, and then whatever was inside the balloon, there are those balloons where you can put confetti or all sorts of things inside, or something like that. And then it's as if there's some kind of information inside that he now sees, that he now has in front of him. As I said, he's also very much in communication with himself. Communication is a big topic anyway, where he has repeatedly been closed off, has been superficial, where depth has been lacking. Now it's here. In this connection, it's now going deeper. And communication is a really big topic, and he also knows that there's still something to be resolved with you, and he wants to talk to you. What does resolve mean? I'd like to set that aside for a moment, but he also knows that he can talk to you. He can trust you. You're not going to stab him in the back here. He knows. Come on. That's the realization he's had. Communication is the key to everything. Where he kept running away, where he closed himself off, shut himself down. That's it. And the key, yes, it opens. And he opens up, and he's also opening up to someone. And in this case, you are that someone he's opening up to you. Because I see the communication here between the two of you. Because he knows you're actually the key to everything. Because you always have advice to offer, this and that. So you're like a rock in the surf for him or for her. And I find that very, very beautiful. And that the change is coming, that the message is coming too, I can see that here for sure. Because he knows now is the time to open up, and above all, to finally open up instead of shutting himself off. So that he can finally gain this clear perspective, this point of view that he didn't want to see or accept all this time. And that's exactly where he is now. If he's not at that point yet, I'd say it's about 4 days, 4 weeks, up to a couple of months. But I'd say here I'm more in the range of weeks. It could also be 6 weeks because I do see a bit of a delay here. Yes, so there's really a lot happening here. And because now it's like this, there's really always movement happening here, right? Because something is always opening up here. And the timing, he knows he's now completely in this change, even if it's not happening quickly, right? We have movement here. So as I said, 4 weeks, 28 days. Yes, this range, right? It could be a bit, yes. I always see a bit of a shortening here as well, So now let's say about 6 weeks or so. It could also end up being a bit shorter in terms of weeks. But again, we really, really, really have movement. Dear ones, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching and wish you a wonderfully beautiful rest of your day. Goodbye.